My special guest today, lead singer with the outstanding, tremendously entertaining Irish rock band BLAGGARDS, Patrick Devlin. Welcome to the show.
Man, thanks for having us on.
How are you doing there? You're down the road in Houston, hot day today, same as here, I suppose, in San Antonio. 5 weeks ago, we were freezing to death.
Yeah, they tried to kill us.
I know. You know what they say about the weather in Texas, if you don't like it, wait 5 minutes. So before we talk about the band, let's get a little bit about your background. Born in Dublin, Ireland. How was your early life growing up in Ireland, and at what age did you become interested in music?
Oh, yeah. Well, music's around you at all times, you know. I mean, if you choose to open your ears, you know, I mean, it's just everywhere. And my first memory is my first memory of music was, you know, we used to go see the theaters, you know, take you to see a show. Your parents would take you to see a show, but I actually I was lucky enough to be in America. I saw Carpenters in concert when I was I don't even know how old I was, but parents brought us over there. We got to see Carpenters in Vegas. Brilliant. And then I got to see the Wolf Tones as a little bit older, and then, you know, the aforementioned Thin Lizzy. I mean, you just having Philo grace the sidewalks, you know, of Dublin. You know, you can't escape that. So.
Well, there's lots of come out of Dublin, isn't it? You got obviously U2, Thin Lizzy. You know, there's a lot of stuff come out of the Dubliners. I love Ronnie Drew. So who were your music influences growing up?
Yeah, so it started there. It started with the, you know, I listened to the Wolf Tones and the Paddy Riley, all the crooners and the folkies, and but I liked Elvis. I liked Johnny Cash. You know, my mother being from Michigan, my dad being from Northern Ireland. You know, you have a good mix of Irish and you know, my mother always listened to the rock and roll side of it. So it was a nice mixture, you know.
Yeah.
And it was something that was easily to throw in your bag of tricks too, you know, your musical box.
I'll tell you what, let's play a track, and then we're going to come back to the interview.
You're a brave man, Joe. Brave.
The first one I'm going to play is a song. Tell us about the song first. It's called Pirate.
Okay.
Tell us about the tune.
Well, we've been trying to make a new record for years, and then of course getting shut down last year. Said, hey, we're here, we're stuck, so let's get this thing done. So I wrote this song we do a pirate festival here in Houston every July. Of course, that was shut down last year too. But we wanted to do a song especially for that festival, and so this one was born in the part of the riff was actually born in another song I was doing called Cabin Boy, which again was a little bit tongue in cheek, little bit darker humor, but it was actually another pirate thing. But I stole that from another song I'd done, mixed the two of these together, and so this song is a swashbuckling number, if you will.
Okay, well, let's hear it. This is a Pirate by BLAGGARDS.
All right, thank you. 2, 3, 4.
Captain, with poison pen I sign allegiance and my musket and my line. Will I guide the tide, or I'll plunder on command? For if I don't leave tonight, I shall be damned. Upon an open sea, we sing a song as on we go. king some other day, most certainly. No thinkers can be left behind. Paradise is ours to find. With blood and sweat we told the line. Pirate's life for me. Yeah. Oh, it's to sail the way we go. Riding the horizon is the only time we'll know. Oh, it's to sail the way we go. Riding the horizon is a pirate's life for me. For mutiny. The lost is steering straight ahead to the fishes we are fed. Cast the living and the dead, it's our burial at sea. Yeah. Oh, helplessly we sink below under the horizon, not the way our planets go. Oh, it's to sail the way we go, right at the horizon is our pirate's life for me.
Rocking. Some nice touches in that. There's you can tell there's a lot of work gone into that with the accents and everything. And the band are so tight, man.
Thanks.
I love the fiddle. Absolutely love. I mean, I love the fiddle anyway. I'm not sure whether you know. A few weeks ago, I had Sean Orr on as a guest. He's a good friend of mine, but he's based out of Austin. I don't know whether you know Sean.
Oh, we've known Sean for years.
Wow.
Yeah, he's actually played with us a couple of times too.
He has, yeah. I wasn't sure whether you knew Sean. Fantastic guy, and he's played on some of my tracks on a couple of my albums. He's played, and I've played live with him as well. But he was on, so I love the fiddle. Absolutely love the fiddle. You know, and love it.
Yeah, he's a good guitar player too. He's no slouch.
Yeah. So, how did you make the move, Patrick, from your native island to America?
Well, it was easy because my mother's from Michigan, so there's easy to get it, easy to get in, and it was, I always knew I was going to come to the States. Always knew I was going to end up here. Ireland's very small, and there's not a lot you can get away with, when there's a little amount of people and not a lot of
It's like Liverpool. We live in a village. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah, you can't do anything illegal or fun. Sometimes the same, but no, it's brilliant. It was I always say home. Ireland's always home, but I've been in Texas now since the early '90s, right 91, I believe.
So you came directly to Texas from Ireland?
No. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I won't tell you because to keep it somewhat clean. But no, I moved to Boston. First stop on the plane. Okay. And stayed there for a while.
And get more Irish than that.
Oh, stop!
Boston.
It's again. It's big. It's obviously nice bit of land, whatever. But man, it's still pretty built up. You're still on top of each other.
Yeah. And
I stayed there for a little bit. I moved to Cape Cod for a blink of an eye. And then I went down to Florida, where I had a great time in Florida. But Florida.
I was in Fort Lauderdale for 4 years. I was
me
on the
too.
ships there,
I was just up the road in Pompano Beach.
Okay, I know it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you play down there?
No, I was actually on the cruise ships at the time.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
I was there for 4 years. I was a year in Europe, 4 years based in Fort Lauderdale. And that's how I found Waxy O'Connor's. That's how I came to Texas, because I used to drink in their first bar, which is right by the port. Became friends with the owners, and then they sponsored me to come to the second when Waxy's opened here. That's how I came here 15 years ago. But yeah, I was there for 4 years in Lauderdale. Good times, some good times there. So when did you form BLAGGARDS? Was you doing music before the band elsewhere around the States?
Yeah, very well. I didn't play. Always had a guitar. I always had some form of a guitar at some point. You know, there was always one sitting around. But I took it seriously when I started working in the bars. I started bartending here in Houston. Actually, my first bartending gig was in Pompano Beach, place called the Harp and Piper. And so if you step away from Fort Lauderdale, it's only about a 15-minute drive if there's no traffic up the road from Fort Lauderdale, to Pompano. Right. And so I worked there in just a little beer and wine place, and it was brilliant, great fun. And I moved to Dallas, of all godforsaken places, for a very short time, and I couldn't take Dallas at all. I mean, there's no, at least in Houston, you have the water 50 miles away. In Dallas, they don't even use it to shower. There's no water at all. Dallas is it's an acquired taste, and it's far enough away from Houston to where I'm comfortable.
Right. Okay.
So I've been in Houston the whole time now for like I said, the early '90s, and it's just been, Houston's a great town. People have no idea. Yeah. I didn't have any clue. I was actually on my way back to Florida when I left Dallas. I was going to stop in and see my sister, and I never left. No. So love it here.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I also had on the show a few weeks ago. You'll know Brendan Keys. Brendan's a good mate of mine, fellow Dub. Coach Keys. Talking about his football thing as, the president of Celtic FC America. We went through all that. But I know you know Brendan as well. He's been on the show, yeah? Yeah, so when did you actually form the BLAGGARDS? You just called BLAGGARDS the band, yeah? Yeah.
But and I'm glad you said that too, because I didn't answer that question. But Brendan's brother Finton, I worked for him in a bar here in Houston. Yeah, that's how I met Brendan. Okay. So and I just saw Finton on Paddy's Day here in Houston. So I formed BLAGGARDS. We've been going since 2004. And I actually only started playing music a small time before that, because, like I said, I had a guitar lying around it all the time, but I never got past one chord. I just said, I'll get to it, later on.
Well, you've come a long way, because I've seen you live a bunch of times. I've played on the same festival as you, the festival, the Irish festival in Incarnate Word a few years ago. And,
exactly. Listen, we were as impressed. I mean, you blew us away, because we hadn't seen, we'd heard that, obviously knowing Waxy O'Connor's, it's a great tourist trap. I mean, the Riverwalk, that's a great spot. It's, love it or hate it. I mean, it is San Antonio. It's the main artery of San Antonio, Yeah. And it's so we actually played in there, I think, right when it opened.
I think you did one of the opening nights. I was on in the afternoon, and I watched it. I was there that night. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a brave man. That was back in the day when we had amplifiers and all kinds of just, monitors on the floor. Of course, now everything's gone to, everything is just minuscule, and everything's direct, and there's no, essentially no footprint now on the stage. You can get away with nothing, because everything's so small and compact, Well,
when I saw you last in Mo's Irish pub here, your setup was so compact, and it was a lot smaller than, as you say, the amps and the monitors at the time.
Well, when we had a let's call it a slight disagreement with some local bands here. They're so, well, you have to have the Marshalls stacked with the tubes and this and that. And I said, yeah, but if you tour the country, if you do 200 shows around the country, and you have to set up and play, you have to set up your own PA on 90% of the gigs, maybe even 95% of the gigs. If you have to do your own sound and carry your own gear night after night after night, 200 shows a year, you'll learn how to love a guitar processor, exactly. That used to take the space of half a wall,
Yeah.
everything's online, so everything's in compact,
Okay, let's play another track. You've covered the Tom Jones classic, Delilah.
Yeah.
Really want to hear this one. This is Delilah, Blackguards.
I saw the light on the night that I passed by her window. I saw the flickering shadow of love on the line. She was my woman. As she deceived me, I lost and went out of my mind. She opened the door. She stood there laughing. I felt the knife in my hand and she laughed no more. My Delilah. Why?
Great rendition.
Thanks.
Tom will be proud of that.
I'm a huge Tom Jones fan. And I think everybody should be. It's one of those artists that, it's kind of, like Prince or, one of those people that you just have to tip your hat to. The man sang the same way his whole time, and he just hasn't lost a step. He just and again, kind of bold. You have to be a little bit. You have to be a little bit loony to I think cover one of his songs. But I wanted to put a little tango in there in the middle. Just add.
That was fantastic. So, the little break
man,
there.
I'm delighted you like it.
Do you know what? I was in South Wales in 1988. I was in a duo called the Culprits, and we went to South Wales for 10 nights. We stayed in Merthyr Tydfil, and at the time we did different towns every night. We travel different towns every night.
Yeah.
But we got talking to some people. We said we'd love to meet Tom Jones. He said he's home at the moment. He drinks in a pub called the Globe. So we drove to Pontypridd. It was a Sunday afternoon, and we walked in this pub. Just walks in, and without realising, 2 Scousers walking in this pub in South Wales. Has Tom Jones been in? And it went deadly silence, and these all rugby players that looked at us like, what? So he's no, genuinely, we got all these drinks here. We'll come to see if we could meet him. And someone from behind I said, you went home on Thursday? You went back home Thursday? I said, okay, no problem. But we ended up getting on with them. We had a pint there all afternoon in South Wales. We were there for 10 nights, yeah. So let's talk about the band's new album. It's called BLAGMATIC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some of the tracks we've been playing, does it consist of covers and originals, the album?
Yeah.
So this stuff is on the album, yeah.
Yeah. Covers, and the covers that we're doing, the Delilah, that's the only, recognizable one, I think. The other ones are recognized, but they're just traditional ones. We've redone Moonshiner and we've redone Wild Rover. Okay. And the pub sing along one has been done. No, they never. That's been done over. So we're just we're doing a little bit more electric, a little bit more festival friendly. We'll say. Yeah. We do a lot of festivals throughout the year, and that one's it's just they know it, but now they have a different way to listen to it.
Okay. Is the album available now?
It's actually not even available, and the tracks that we're listening to, some of them haven't been played yet. We just wanted to have them, so they're actually not mastered yet. So we're getting the kind of raw tracks right now, but they're we're sending them to a chap here in Houston called Christopher Longwood, who does just amazing work. So we're very excited. So BLAGMATIC should be out in the next couple of months. Right. We're like I say, we're long overdue. We've been talking about this record since 2005. So
I'm looking forward to
it.
Here we go. And thank you for letting me play the tracks now before it's released. Let's play another one. Let's play Moonshiner.
I live till I die.
say that's a cover? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the traditional one, but the traditional one's kind of da 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 da. You know, to me, sounds like the Muppet Show. You know, it sounds like a. So we put a little bit of, you know, when you have to, you know, like I say, if you're playing, you know, 6-7 nights a week, you know, on tour, you want to do something a little bit different, you know.
Yeah.
Just, you know, for your own sanity, you know.
Well, let's talk about tour. You're about to go on tour, which is going to start in Montana. Tell us more about the up and coming tour.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a whole lot of holes in a ton of holes, we'll say, in the calendar, just because coming out of the shutdown, a lot of places are very, very gun shy on putting pen to paper and, you know, committing to having you come up. So we spoke to a chap on Paddy's Day here. He owns a casino and a couple of places up in Montana, and he wants to take us up for the month. Now, I don't know about spending the whole month in Montana. You know, the mosquitoes up there work out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and one of them can carry you off. So, you know, still there's worse places to be stuck in, you know, in August in America, you know, than Montana. So so we're talking to them, and we were supposed to be doing a festival over in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in September. They may not be open by that time. So that festival's still up in the air. It probably won't happen. So, but we're still going to go over that way. So we're thinking about Montana and then all the way across the United States, you know, just end up on the East Coast. And so essentially an August into September tour. I mean, it would probably be one of the longest ones we've done.
Right. Okay. I mean, Texas, as you know, Texas is open now. And you, like myself and yourselves, you all did the live streams during the lockdown. I did 29 weeks from home. Whoa. Of live streams, and thank God, you know, a lot of people tuned in who followed me, and it was good. We got through it, but it was a stressful time for all of us, for our business. It was such a stressful time.
Insane, and especially for what you do, because you're such a, I mean, you're a fixture at Waxies, you know, and there's and people, they rely on that for their session. You know, you can't go out and have a, I certainly don't want to go out and listen to 70s night or you know, on the radio, or you know what I mean. Just one day you want to go out there and you want to have that interaction, and people rely on you. You know, we know what you do, just, you know, from working with you a couple of times. I mean, it's essential, and this is not a, you know, it's. I always say I think the biggest mistake the musicians make is it shouldn't be called playing music, because the people that don't understand only hear the playing, or they can't get past the playing, you know, the quote unquote playing section of it, you know.
Well, thanks for that, mate. I mean, Paddy's Day itself, you know, I grew up in Irish music, you know, Liverpool, as they say, the capital of Dublin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I knew so many Irish songs from a young age, and I still at Waxies do a fair share of everything, but I still always throw the Irish in. But Paddy's Day, I do nothing but Irish music, and I played from 1 till 8 this last Paddy's Day, and it was just pure Irish. But we had, and so I know so many Irish songs, you know. But last week we had a guy in last week at the bar, and he was shouting these songs at me I've never heard in my life. And in the end, he said they're Irish songs, and I'd never heard one of them at all, you know. And he said, "Oh yeah, they're Irish, they're Irish." And in the end, I said, "Are you sure you don't write these yourself?" You know? So I takes a break. And then I gets back up, and the second half he turns around, he's looking, he goes, "Oh, is the Irish guy back?" He said he doesn't know any Irish music. But, you know, you get them. You do get them, you know what I mean? But it's so funny, man,
well, to me, again, you have the hardest job, is not just you know, because you have to juggle between now, do I play Scouser in the Room, or do I play the whiskey in the jar? Do I play the crowd?
Yeah.
You know, you have to read the room 100%, and you can't take a minute off, because that's the time that your man comes in and he goes, "I'm going to make up some names," and, you know, just and try to stump, you know, and again, you can't cut him down, but you can't feed him either. You know, you can't let him, you know, take over the night, you know. So it's a delicate, and we've always said it, the hardest working people are yourselves and the comedian, you know, the guy with the microphone. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, when I first came to Texas, started at Waxies, I was so shocked at how many young people are country fans, and I mean, know the old school country like Johnny Cash and Willie and Waylon. So I had to learn a load of that stuff, and I do a lot of that in my act now, you know, because it's they're all George Strait, but the young kids who know all these songs, you know, I think just like Texas-born kids who like love the country. But so that was something I learned, you know, and you can't go wrong with Johnny Cash, Willie, and all, especially in Texas.
No.
Right, let's play another track. We were talking earlier about you covering this traditional one. This is BLAGGARDS' version, The Wild Rover.
And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. I've been a wild rover for many's a year, and I spent all my money on the whiskey and the beer. But now I'm returning with Golden Ridge Store, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I went to an alehouse, saying 30 quents, and I told the landlady all my money is spent. But I asked her for credit, she said kindly go away. You're a dirty old hippie, now please go away. Oh, it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I took out from my pockets the gold coins shining bright. All the landlady's arms, they opened wide with delight. And she said I have the whiskies, the wines of the best. And the words that I spoke, sure they're only in jest. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. Come on. I'll confess what I've done, and I'll ask her to pardon her own prodigal son. And if she caressed me like last night on the moor, sure it's then I might play the wild rover a little more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, they never, no, they never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more, no more, no more.
I love the way you take these songs and you just make them your own. I mean, it's BLAGGARDS. It's not, you know, you actually make them your very own. And you can tell there's a lot of work, and I love watching the band. I've watched it many times, but fantastic. And,
thanks. Yeah. You tried to go for a little bluegrassy feel there.
Yeah.
We had a fiddle player. He's we call him the fifth Blackguard because he came in. I don't know the year. My bass player would know he'd know all the dates and the times and the temperature at the moment and the barometer and the pollen count. And so this guy Jeff Duncan, he came in early on when we were starting out, and he said, hey, I'd like to sit in. He said, yeah, come on, bring it. So he brings in the fiddle, and he's got that, as you can tell by the fiddle, he's got that country swing. He's got that little hillbilly in him, right. But he's Canadian of all things. And he's but he knows the Irish tunes and he knows the stuff. So he played on that, and just brilliant fiddle player, a great singer. And, we're lucky. We get good players,
You have a BLAGGARDS podcast with an interesting title, SLAPPERCAST.
Yeah.
When does this go out? Let's talk about your podcast. Yeah,
so that's a weekly thing. We do it. It comes out every Tuesday anywhere that you get podcast. We know we do it. It goes out on YouTube and all that stuff. It's been we did our 114th episode, so which is shocking to us because we thought, I especially thought, we'll do it once or twice and then we'll get tired of it, and so we'll end up with 3 podcasts that end up in a in the trash can of the the ether, whatever. But it's actually gone really well. We've had great guests. We've had such people as Ash Sohn, one of the renowned drummers, played with everybody from Sinead O'Connor, Van Morrison, on and on. Brilliant drum. We've had Vinny Appice, who played with Dio and Black Sabbath, and John Lennon, of course, he played with him. And we've had Doug Stanhope, in my mind, the best comedian, that's ever walked the planet. You just he and Cat Williams, I don't know who but so we've had some great guests on there, and we've had just a riot doing it. We've had really, there's good banter, and the name SLAPPERCAST came from we have on a song on our first record called Standards. The song is called Slappers Medley, and I just thought we used to have I think it may be a European thing, but I knew it was definitely home in Dublin. If you called somebody a slapper, they were usually
same in Liverpool.
Okay, good, yeah,
exactly the same. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be the nicest thing to be like somebody calling somebody a blackguard. It's not the nicest thing in the world, but it's not the worst.
Yeah. Well, when does it? You say it goes out Tuesday. What time does it go out? Is it on Facebook Live?
We usually release it at midnight on Monday. Monday going into Tuesday. So
okay.
It's I think so. We pre-record it and we do the we do the guest thing too, and we'll drop that in the middle of it. We've had it's not just been musicians too. We've had people that suicide prevention talks. We're going to have a yoga chat coming. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. We just cover that, and of course, you're going to come on there too. We have I'd
be honored to come on. I'd be honored.
Yeah, you were nice enough to invite me on. But I mean, we were talking about because we had just a brilliant time when we played in San Antonio with you, and it's always been a name that's come up. But we're during the lockdown, we had to take advantage, especially during the lockdown, we had to take advantage of getting these chaps that are usually on the road for 11 months out of the year, off doing something. So we really did. We, as they say, we made hay during the lockdown. We did the record, and we got a lot of ground covered during the lockdown. So we're, like I said, and it was brilliant to come on and hear and to hear Expat Radio. I mean, I've just been delighted with the music as well, man. Just a great cross section of really good stuff,
Thank you. Yeah, I try to, the station owner, he just lets me choose, which is great. Dave lets me just choose the music, and it's a lot of memories for me. I go back to 80s stuff as well, and it's like a little bit of stuff from home.
Great cross section. Good man, Dave. Keep him going. Love to hear that.
Let's play one final track, then we're going to come back to you before we close out. But this is Rain or Shine. Do you want to talk us through the song?
Yeah, well, a much more interesting song than, a story behind the song than it should be. But so we had we played a festival up in Weston, Missouri, and we left after our Sunday show because we like to do that. We like to drive back from wherever we are. The record being Portland, Maine to Houston in one shot after playing a show, loading the van and driving all the way without. And of course, I drove the whole way like an idiot, and from Portland, Maine to Houston, Texas, and it's not as close as it looks like on the map. It only looks like it's a few inches on the map.
I was just going to say, how long did that take you?
32 hours.
Jesus, really?
So we were wrecked anyway. Yeah. But so we jump in the van after. And let me also paint the picture. So this is an outdoor festival, and it's in a brilliant spot. It's called. Like the town is Weston, Missouri, but the festival is the Western Irish Festival, and it's put on by Owen O'Malley's Michael Coakley and Corey Weinfurt, the two owners. They do this festival every year, and they have a brewery, they have a bed and breakfast, they have a pub, they have, name it, they have it all, but they do this festival. And we were playing it, and it's outdoors, and it's the Sunday, and it's cold. This cold front came through. Saturday was picturesque. Absolutely just sun splitting the stones, and it was gorgeous. The temperature was great. Cold front comes through as you're having a kip that night. You wake up the next day, raining, and it's just but it's getting worse throughout the day. The temperature's dropping as the day goes on. And for those listening on the radio, I'm moving my hands so you can see where the thing is going. Talking like my hands. So we jump in the van, and our set was okay. It was all right. Weather-wise, it was it was a bit of fun, and everybody's loose because the weekend was good. The Friday was good, Saturday was good, and then Sunday turns into this. And so we're playing the show, and there's people out there because it's Western Missouri. They're not going to let a little bit of rain dampen or ruin their day, right? So they're all out there, and they got plastic over them, and they're out there with their beers, and and it's getting colder and colder, and the wind's picking up and the rain's coming. So we played our set, and it went great, and we had a great time. We said our goodbyes, and we jump in the van, we go home. Well, we found out later on, and there's put an asterisk on this, because as we're driving back to Houston, we found out that there's the headliner had refused to go on because it was getting cold. So they wanted to go down into the pub, and they wanted to do their last set in there. So essentially throwing a wrench in the calendar, or in the order of the bands going on. So they pitch a fit, so basically what happens was I wrote a song about that. Basically, the prima donnas, right? Yep. And the person that gave us the story was a little bit high, I think, maybe, because it wasn't what happened. But I'd already written the song. So the song is now called Rain or Shine. And basically, if you're going to do a show and you're slated to play, and, the sound man shows up, go do your job, basically. So right. Anyway, 30 minutes of that, you won't get back. But there you go.
This is Rain or Shine, BLAGGARDS.
Yeah.
stuff. Rain or shine. How can people find out more about your music, your band news? Best way to follow the band?
Yes, I mean, it's just like everybody, we should have a working website. Ours is blaggards.com, and we're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the rest of that. And we're very active on it now. We've gotten a good habit since the podcast began. You know, we have to kind of keep on top of the on top of the game. You know, I mean, as far as booking dates and staying on top of this. So the tours should be going live here as soon as we, can nail down the dates. It's difficult right now because people are, like I say, just a little bit wary of putting dates down, because all we've done for the last, seems like 13, 14 months is write a date, post it, cancel it, start again,
Yeah, as I say, certain states, isn't it? I mean, Texas is wide open at the moment, so we'll okay that way, but, it's we'll see what happens with the other states, and especially New York. I mean, New York's really, it's still more or less on lockdown, New York. I know a lot of bar owners there and friends, Patrick, it's been a pleasure, brother. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck with the new album and the tour. And,
Thanks a million,
appreciate your time today, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Devlin, lead singer, Irish rock band, BLAGGARDS. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Joe. Take care, all right?
You too.
We'll be in touch.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Later, brother.